Hi, grand afternoon. My name is Leonard Munson, the nomadic astrologer. My website is readings by leonardmunson.net. Mercury retrograde, everyone's favorite excuse to arrive fashionably late to. Well, everything begins on June the 29th, 2026. Mercury retrograde is famously a period of miscommunication, delays, technical difficulties. People could feel more forgetful or dizzy. Retrogrades can also bring reversals. If you lost your keys, you might find them. If you walk away from a relationship, you might find yourself walking back. If you are a sentimental person, this Mercury retrograde in Cancer may also find you in a particularly nostalgical, wishful mood. You might even feel a little tearful. But like all things astrological, you need not to freak out. Personally, I revel in Mercury retrograde as a period to reconnect with those I care about, rest, and if I'm in the mood to be busy, revisit projects I would have put on the burner. I would have put on the back burner. Mercury retrograde enters its pre-shadow period on June the 13th. During this time, you might get a preview of what your Mercury retrograde story will be. The actual retrograde occurs between June the 29th and July the 23rd. And then there is this post-shadow period and ending on August the 7th. This will be a time of clarity when the stories that emerge during the retrograde might be tied up. Part 2 for the following astrological signs. Sagittarius. When it comes to forgive and forget, you are natural. Your huge heart has an easy time letting people off the hook, and your busy social life leaves you little time to remember every misstep. But this Mercury retrograde is sensitive. Insensitive Cancer asks you to get clear about boundaries in your relationships. That doesn't mean casting forgiveness aside, but it does mean being honest about whether or not that friend still has access to your secrets, the lover, your wallet, or the colleague, your brilliant ideas. Mercury retrograde is a time to out to suss out exactly where complicated relationships stand. Have any overdue apologies of your own. Now is the lovely time to give them. Capricorn. For Capricorns, the Mercury retrograde might see you learning who you truly connect with and understand on a level beyond words, who you can have comfortable silence with, who you understand by just a look. If you are in a partnership, an argument might be rehashed, but exploring that issue again might finally lead to some real closure or new details emerge, and time helps bring a new perspective. Unfortunately, Capricorn, trust could be restored and communication could be improved. If you are single, you might reconnect with a crush from your past, as well as gain a new perspective on your patterns and habits in dating and relating. Aquarius, this Mercury retrograde in Cancer could have you feeling like every email you send is responded to with an 000 auto reply. Perhaps it's time for you to step away from the work desk in general. I'm not saying to quiet quit, but take a stay vacation if you can. Don't give Mercury retrograde any opportunity to mess with your plans to travel out of town. Find ways to quieting your mind. And if you really feel the itch to work, perhaps revisit a project that you previously put on the back burner. This Mercury retrograde is also a great time to weed out expired products from your makeup bag or to revisit your old favorites when it comes to beauty and fashion. Pisces, this Mercury retrograde in Cancer could be an absolute roller coaster for your love life. Pisces, you might wake up realizing you cannot be less interested in the crush who only last week you were penning for. Or maybe an ex from your years ago suddenly holds new appeal. Maybe you are in a relationship and things have gotten boring. Until now, whatever you have got going on in the love department, connection stands to be tested by Mercury retrograde, and ultimately your partnerships could be all the stronger for it. Are misunderstandings annoying? Yes, but that is life. And seeing how people show up for you when things get choppy can be revealing. Not looking for love, you might revisit a creative project, or perhaps you will attend something fun that you previously had not had time to indulge in. So when a planet goes retrograde, the two letters is RE. Revisit, reshape, reschedule, review, re-examine, reestablish. In other words, when a planet goes retrograding, it's moving backwards from Earth's point of view. You're reviewing the decisions you made in the last 3 months when the last Mercury went retrograde, and looking at the whole picture at these decisions, what worked out and what needs to be re-examined and re-changed or eliminated completely. So Mercury is not a bad thing. Just flow with the current. Do not buy any electronics. Do not buy any automobiles, any computers, any telephones. Do not make any decision and sign any papers. Wait till August the 7th, when it's out of its shadow period. And since it's in Cancer, it's going to affect anything to do with emotions, anything to do with your roots, your foundation, your home, your family, your security, and anything to do with your intuitiveness. So when you get that feeling, follow through. If you do not follow through with that feeling, then you are going to suffer the consequences. And anything to do with your health, particularly the aspects and the areas that Cancer rules on the physical body. Anything to do with your large intestine, your low intestine, your stomach in period, anything to do with your pancreas, your colon, your digestive system. If you have not taken care of these physical areas of your body, then the problem will arise and you will have to take care of it. Anything to do with your emotions that's connected to your mother. Because Cancer rules the mother, and its ruling planet is the moon. So things that needs to be released, needs to be released. Information that's been held from you will be exposed for you to make the correction of renegotiating. And anything to do with your breast area, whether you're a man or a woman. If there has been an issue with your breast area and you have ignored it, it's going to come up and you're going to have to make a decision to go check it out and see if it's anything serious. See, we need to have a physical examination, not just for our body, our emotions, our spirit, and our soul, once a year, to see if there is anything that's causing problems. Because the problems start with the body, then it's exposed into the emotions, then into the thinking, etc. Do not buy any homes because it affects the home. So if you continue to look for a home, but do not make any agreement or sign anything because you will give up more than you're going to receive.